Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. I'm back, and what an incredible game that was. Holy shit. Tottenham Arsenal, it's always such an exciting game, and I was anticipating this the entire week. And when the game started, last night I could hardly sleep, and it seemed so long since we got to see Arsenal play football, and finally they're back, and I'm back here making videos. It was such a strong start from the very, very beginning of the game. Arsenal just on top all over Spurs. The penalty it seems inevitable almost. So you might as well put Harry Kane on the score sheet before the game even starts. But there's part of me that always thinks maybe Ramsdale was saving this, but there's that English connection, and you never know what goes on in training behind the scenes. But he's just so good at taking penalties, and that's sort of what he does. Harry Kane among many other infuriating things, especially as an American, I will bite my tongue. Um, the goals we scored, the Thomas Partey goal was perfect. We've seen him hit balls like that time and time again, and they've hit the moon. Some of them have broken windows in the car park. Some of them have just been so close. And finally, he gets that perfect contact. The assist, the layoff from Ben White from Bukayo Saka. It was just perfect, almost written that he was going to score today. And the way Tottenham were set up, I was sort of thinking to myself, when the chance comes, not only do you have to take it, but you have to perfectly place the ball somewhere. The amount of players Tottenham had behind the ball, they were defending the entirety of the game, really, the first half especially, up until they sort of came out of their shell a little bit after they had scored, which of course you're going to see with that confidence growing, and you're going to move up a little more on the pitch. Then they scored Gabriel Jesus right as the second half was starting. I was just finishing my breakfast actually, and you take what you can get, and Gabriel Jesus and Eddie Nketiah, I do want to mention, just poachers, and of course, Jesus brings way more than Nketiah, and it's obviously why we bought him. You could see the style, the swagger this guy has, full of confidence, and the way he moves around, dribbles around players, sets other players up. The link up he has, he's come and sat right into this team like he's been here for years, and got his goal. A little unfortunate for Tottenham to concede that way, but who? I mean, you have to take what you can get, especially in a game like this, in any game. And we totally deserve to win that game. Despite everything else, I think the red card. It's. I wouldn't say it's a blatant red card. If you gave a yellow, I would probably have liked to see it go to VAR. I think, in my opinion, you could see why it's a red. Come on, you have to see. I mean, he was nowhere near the ball, didn't play the ball, wasn't near it, and he just went. I mean, it was quite a high challenge as well, and from behind. So I think Anthony Taylor probably took a lot of those things into consideration. The fact that they were losing, Royale, Martinelli had his number the entirety of the game. Gabriel Martinelli just terrorizing Royale and Richarlison on that side of the pitch. And I think that had to be taken into account, obviously, from Anthony Taylor. And for me, it's the correct decision. I've seen a couple Tottenham fans on Twitter actually agreeing with that as well. And, people are going to do what they want. For me, it's a red card. That's what's important. I value my opinion pretty highly. And I would say it was a red card as well. And just to finish it all off, Granit Xhaka, the movement, we've seen him be so much more creative when he moves forward in that position. He's giving it this license to get forward. He's become a real nuisance for defending teams, and he's always had a shooting boot, but to score a goal inside the box is pretty unlike him. Usually he's hammering them from 35 yards out, and it's just fantastic, dude. The whole weekend now is set. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. Just an hour before I had set my alarm, got up and just the anticipation for this game, the goosebumps, the sweaty hands, the entirety of the match, especially when we conceded. This is what you fucking live for. Games like this, results like this, staying top of the Premier League. Now 4 points ahead of Spurs, four ahead of City, barring something tomorrow. I would probably see them as favorites, obviously against Manchester United, but you never know. They have such a fantastic coach over there, United, and they have found really their form. So for us, I would say best result is obviously a draw. If we can stay 3 points ahead of City, four ahead of Tottenham, and keep these boundaries against teams like Liverpool and Chelsea, who obviously play today. Look, it's the little things. We saw how important 1 point was last season, and you look back and you say, "Geez, we could have got a point here. We could have got a result here if we didn't make this mistake." And there were mistakes. Granit Xhaka was totally at fault, I think, for that penalty, and of course it was Gabriel's challenge, which was very unnecessary, I think. But Granit Xhaka, you just think you're up a goal. Just clear it out. Just clear it out. You should be confident in defending, especially with players like William Saliba. He was just dynamite today. Everything he does. I mean, in his first mistake, it resulted in a yellow card. But like the commentators were saying, Graham Lasso, that's the first mistake he's made all game, and really he is not one to make mistakes. The way he gets back, Harry Kane was away at one point in that second half. I just had flashbacks to that Mbappe challenge where he is just so quick, dynamite. Jamie Carragher tweeting about Saliba during the game. It's so refreshing to see a player like this. He is just fantastic, dynamite. I expect to see him in that French squad probably. I don't see who would take him out of that starting lineup. I would assume perhaps it's William Saliba and Rafael Varane. I suppose I'm not too sure what the system is, but I do believe they play a back four. So for Saliba, at his age, all of the work he's done to get to this point, the years on loan, the crucifying of Mikel Arteta and his staff about how they've treated him, and everyone assuming that they know what's going on, and really, as usual, people on Twitter know fuck all. And here he is making a name for himself and putting in performances week after week, hardly ever putting a foot wrong. Saliba, he's so fantastic. He's just brilliant. He really, really is. And I almost didn't even look for his name when I saw the lineup before I stepped out this morning to go for a nice little walk in the new city I live in. I saw him on the ball, and I just saw the number 12, and I thought, oh yeah, it's Saliba. Of course, he's there. I was looking for players like Zinchenko and Will Thomas Partey start. Obviously, Gabriel Jesus is going to be there, and is Martin Odegaard going to be back? Because if you watch the press conference yesterday of Arteta, he was asked about those three players, and he said, the reporter asked him, "Are they in the squad?" And he said with a smile, he goes, "They're part of the team, yes." And he's probably learned a lot from Arsene Wenger over his years at Arsenal. And he's doing the job right now, man. He really, really is putting in performances, helping this team to put in performances. And I have my doubts, obviously. I have my doubts about players at times. And of course, Mikel Arteta, it seems when players do get injured, your Thomas Partey or Odegaard. And, yes, we were without Odegaard the other week, and we still came away with the victory at Brentford. But he is very reliant on this system that he plays. He has the perfect players for that system, but when they are out injured or something happens, it does seem like there is a little bit of drop-off. We'll see more experimenting, obviously, in the Europa League this week. We're back. And, I expect to see players like Matt Turner, Fabio Vieira, Marquinhos coming back in the starting lineup. Perhaps Eddie Nketiah is going to get a start up front. Rob Holding, I would assume, comes and slots in. Maybe Tierney is going to get his start. And the competition we have everywhere now, especially that right back position as well. Don't forget Takahiro Tomiyasu has been, sidelined by Benjamin White, who has been fantastic as well. Everyone's coming together. It's just looking so positive, and I'm looking forward to every Arsenal game with confidence, not just because I love football and watching them play, but I'm expecting to win these games we're going into, and we have Liverpool next weekend. and I expect us to play Liverpool and excuse me to win as well. Liverpool haven't been playing too hot. We know they're always dangerous. The experience they have, and Jurgen Klopp remains one of the best coaches in the world. But this team right now seems unstoppable, and barring silly mistakes like we saw today with from Xhaka and sort of really you have to say poor challenge from Gabriel in the penalty box. I expect us to give Liverpool a run for their money. I don't know if we're favorites. I'm okay with being underdogs, but I do expect us to go and get a win at Liverpool. I do expect that, and let's go, man. Top of the table. We will be there 100% for another week, despite what happens tomorrow with Manchester City. And yeah, thanks very much if you guys have watched. If you've made it this far at all, you've clicked around, I do really appreciate it. I don't look for much. I just love talking about Arsenal and talking about football. So hit me up on Twitter if you would like. Say something down in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on Liverpool and the Europa League on Thursday. Guys, again, thanks very much for watching. I will see you when I see you.